So, Anita, I just wanted to, before we even start today's episode, we are episode 24, which means we are officially
Yay!
at the 12-month mark.
I know we started it last November.
Yes, last November, almost a year before the election.
I
So,
know. Where did the time go?
where the heck has the time gone?
hmm
And
I know.
I just want to take a minute just to give a special shout out to our Patreons. Of course, the first on board was a gentleman by the name of Bobby Ferguson,
Hey, Bobby.
and then followed by our friend from Minnesota, Lori Kish. And we
Hey, Lori.
just received another $20 Patreon member, Cindy McNary, who I will be
Wow.
seeing in another week for LA Sexy Liberal.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of stars there. You ready?
Star studded.
Blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
So we are 12 days out. What is on your mind?
What is on my mind? The election. I just can't sleep. I can't hardly eat. I can just, just curl up in a little ball.
Oh.
I did go vote. And I want to talk about that. Okay.
So
I voted.
What was that like?
That was exciting because we were there and there was quite a long line, not as long as a lot of them because we went there during the middle of the day, the second day. The first day apparently was very, very crowded. But the second day in the middle of the afternoon before like people get off work and stuff like that. So we were out there, we waited about an hour. They had lots of voting machines, thank God. And there were a surprising number of young people, a lot of Latinos, a lot of women, a lot of women. It was mostly all women actually. And so it's very, it made me feel, it did make me feel better just to see that, And then I was watching reports at all over Bexar County, which is where I live. San Antonio is in Bexar County. There are record numbers of people voting. I saw a report yesterday from Tarrant County, which is outside of Dallas, which is Dallas actually. And they were talking to the kids from UT Arlington, and they were asking them why they voted. They had like a whiteboard. This is a new thing, apparently. They bring these whiteboards and tell them to write down what their most important issue is. And to a person, they were all saying the things that we want them to be saying, like reproductive rights, abortion. They were saying saving democracy, things like that. And so it was very, I just found it uplifting to see something like that. And it's scary right now. And the Democrats apparently are, having a lot of anxiety is what I'm hearing. The Democrats are all freaking out. But that's normal for Democrats, okay? People need to understand that.
That's kind of our
that's
baseline.
Our specialty. Yeah.
That's our baseline.
That is. That's our default. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So also, the stakes for America, for us, and for the democracy, we've never been here.
Right.
We've never been here. And this is very, very scary because all of that rests on Kamala Harris's shoulders.
Yes.
And all we're seeing is, they're so tight. It could be some coin toss. So there's going to be a coin toss whether, democracy is going to continue. It's down to a coin toss, according to them. What makes me feel better, and I don't understand why these polls say this, because I can tell you right now, his support among white working class voters is decreasing. Not a lot, but like by 3 points since 2020. It was already going down. Her support from Hispanics, I can't remember the amount exactly she got, but she's got the majority. And he's getting a decent amount, but she's getting more than Biden did. And Biden got quite a bit. The only thing that Trump is winning is white men without a college degree.
Okay.
So it doesn't make any sense to me that the polls would be this close. I don't understand it. And then we can talk about fake polls and these that they're putting out all the time, and that's causing also that is making
Sure.
there a lot of anxiety because all
Sure.
these polls are there to make it look like Donald Trump is winning.
Right. So that then they can set the stage for when he loses, then they can say, oh, you
Yeah.
see, all of the polling had me winning by
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't really care about that because all the polls showed Biden winning.
Yeah.
Now, the
Of course
polls have
not.
been,
Of course not.
there's another factor from
Mhm.
2020. In 2016, they redid their polls the way they do polls. They refigured it, recalculated. Then in 2022, when they all were predicting, I was reading like from the Hill, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be a landslide." The question is just how big,
Right.
and so they had to recalculate the polls again, and they have not recalculated them as far as like overturning of Roe v. Wade. That is such a post Dobbs world,
Right.
post Dobbs America.
Right.
So I mean, I saw all these women out there,
Sure.
and and it's and I'm just happy. I was very happy to see that, and also these
Yes.
college students that really seem to care about the right things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, and I do think, and you and I have had many conversations. And I mean, what we're seeing, I mean, okay, the various polling, and yes, like you were saying, where they were predicting a red wave in 2022, and that didn't happen. And now, what has happened, is the overturning of Roe, January 6th, of course, I think for particularly, I mean, for all of us on, in the Democratic Party for sure. But I'm struck by the number of Republicans that I have heard, like that gentleman that was at that the Univision town hall. Who was saying like that was a big one for him, and
January 6th.
January 6th, and win my vote, and Donald Trump can't because
he doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know anything, and despite, like all of the dipshits that they ask, like, well, name one thing that Donald Trump, one promise that he kept or one thing that he's actually delivered on. And of course, they can't name one thing,
because there isn't.
There's nothing.
Well, he gave giant tax cuts, more tax cuts, just like any Republican. So all these people that think he's such a, different Republican and that he cares about them, because they don't, the thing they hate about Republicans is the fact that they only seem to represent the elite, the most powerful people, which they do.
Yes.
And so you've got, what was I going to say? Yeah. He's done the same thing that every Republican president has done. George Bush did that. Ronald Reagan did it. That's what they do. They cut taxes for big corporations, multinational corporations, and billionaires. That's what they do. And that's all they care about. Remember, Obama used to, make a joke about it. The answer for a Republican, no matter what it is cut taxes for rich people.
Right.
And so that's what he did. He's not doing anything for these people. They honestly, they think this man gives shit about them. They actually believe that he's doing something for them. And that's why they can't answer that, because they believe that, but they really don't have any evidence of that, because there is no evidence.
Right.
So, yeah, they're not, most of these people are just regular people, and they're not helped at all. And by the way, and I've heard some crazy shit from, them about Roe v. Wade. They think that, he is not pro. This drives me crazy. He's not anti-abortion. He just wants to go back to the states. And I want people to understand Roe v. Wade protected all of our rights in this country.
Right.
It used to be a state issue, but you cannot make it's like segregation.
Look, yeah, exactly. We are the United States of America. So what does that mean? If you make it state by state, that means any civil protection, anything that is afforded to women or people of color to travel, we can't travel freely in this country.
Well,
And
they will
a
stop us from it. If
yeah, and they'll exactly. So they're already doing travel bans, for, people seeking, abortion care. And, and why the hell, and it is going to mean, and it already is it meaning that women are dying because what the hell are you supposed to do? If the
well,
only option is for you to
to go,
drive
yeah,
to go to
like
another
what happened to
state.
that woman, that
Yeah.
woman in Georgia,
Yeah.
she got a medication abortion in North Carolina. She went there to North Carolina, and the reason why she died
Mhm.
was because she couldn't get back there because it was too far, and she couldn't stay the night there because she
Right.
had to go back to her job and her son, her 6 year
Right.
old son.
Mhm.
And it's just she didn't have to die.
No.
She sat there for like 20 hours, and they were
Right.
watching her die and didn't even
Yep.
give her just all she needed was a DNC,
Mhm.
to clean it out, clean what she must have had
The
some
remnants, right? She
yes.
had a complication of it. Yep.
And yeah, and then there was another story out of Georgia where this woman, she had like 4 kids, and the doctor had advised her, told her that if she got pregnant again, it would kill her. So
Yes.
she ends up getting pregnant again. And
Mhm.
of course, she couldn't get an abortion. She tried to get an abortion. She couldn't get an abortion, and she ended up dying.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. And the maternal death rate here in Texas has risen 56%. So, how many more of these stories are there out there?
Right. Right. Exactly. So your voting story is very encouraging. My voting story is this. We are going to actually go and vote tomorrow. I'd like to go with my husband Rich and my son Liam. So we all go together and Liam
Hmm.
is off tomorrow. So we're gonna go. But as I told you, Anita, I was able to take my one of my neighbors
Hmm.
to early vote. And I said, okay, well, I'll just wait outside. This is now, so it would have been the fourth day of early voting here in Cook County. And she went in and then she sent me a text message. And at first it was, oh, it's going to be about 36 minutes. And I said,
Hmm.
okay, no problem. Not a problem at all. And then I get a text message and it's an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of people out voting early.
yes, and
Yeah.
as I was standing there and I'm talking to these, lovely ladies, outside, they so anyway, I'm sitting out there and I'm talking to them and, just kind of about what we're seeing, and they said that what they're hearing is, like, women are pissed. Women are super pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
And
was,
I don't,
Barbara and Dorothy. So, and I mean, I had such a nice conversation with them.
hmm.
They said, everything that you and I have been talking about.
Hmm.
Now Dorothy didn't know about Project 2025. Barbara was like, "What do you mean you didn't know about Project
Yeah.
2025?" And so she and I were filling her in a little bit. And so I still do think that it's extremely important in these last 12 days that we talk to people about it. Don't assume that everybody's hearing about it.
Oh, talk to them about it because not only can you educate them, but they can educate
Mhm.
somebody.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I've been talking, me, I can't mind my own business. So I've been asking strangers if they're registered to vote, like I don't know, the FedEx man.
I'm about to
Um,
go to my neighbors and make sure they're registered to vote, honestly.
yeah, the car wash
Yeah,
guy.
anybody. Yeah. The air
Yeah.
conditioning repairman, air conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog catcher,
Yeah, why not? The vet.
the cable guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The roofers. No, wait a minute.
The roofers that are doing the church down the street.
Oh, there you go.
So
See? But
but it
it
is,
it's
it's those
important.
conversations that are important, and I dropped off some postcards in the mail today, and then, I'm waiting to get a call back from this gentleman who left me a message about, doing door knocking, canvassing up in, Wisconsin. So I'm hoping that he gets back to me because I think I'm gonna
That
go
would
on
be great.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to get up to Wisconsin, a
Yeah.
swing state like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but, I have to say that I'm, like, really nervous, like, everybody has their own comfort level, but the
Hmm.
nice thing about it is everybody in these 12 days can do something, And so
That's
for
right.
me, door knocking is not the most comfortable thing, but if I go with somebody else, then I
Yeah.
feel a little bit better about it.
They always send you with somebody, by the way.
Yeah. Well, not always. I
Maybe
did
not.
go with
Well, that's true.
I
I've had.
did go, yeah, I did go by myself and I didn't like it. I have to say. I did not
Yeah,
like
I
it.
would be nervous about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and I'm going to go do that. And aside from being a loud mouth and talking to everybody and making sure they're going to go vote. And then of course doing this podcast with you and then going on with Richard Chu, and writing postcards.
Yes.
I need to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of out of my comfort zone thing.
I don't know how that's out of your comfort zones, Karen. You will tell
is.
anybody, the car washer,
It is.
Hey.
No, and I think for me, and I don't want, this isn't for everybody. I'm not going to say, I don't think everybody feels this way, but for me personally, I think it's because I'm ringing somebody's doorbell. And unless I'm
you
asking
won't
for
answer
candy, I get nervous,
It's
So
because you don't like it when people ring your doorbell. I know.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't answer
Yeah.
the door if I'm not expecting you. But if I see that it's somebody that looks like they're doing canvassing, I will go to the door.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I will do that. Mhm.
Yeah. So I've seen them around. I think they've been around. David said he saw them canvassing our neighborhood.
Okay.
So that's good. And by
Yeah.
the way, I heard, and speaking of canvassing,
Mhm.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk, because that's his partner in crime now, he's been outsourcing because all the money is being spent on legal fees and who knows what, but they're outsourcing their canvassing operation, which means, because I've seen this myself. I used to work at the Democratic Party here in Berk County. When you have canvassers that are paid and not volunteers, they don't give a shit. They just want the paycheck. And so what's happening with these canvassers that are being paid is they're faking the number of knocks so they can make more money, so they can say, justify their hours. And now apparently it seems they've been able to hack in to this, what do you call that? The super PAC that Elon Musk has set up that is paying for this outsourcing, right? So they hacked into it. And so while they sit there like at Starbucks, they're like hacking into to their system and, manipulating it so that it looks like they knocked on so many doors that they didn't knock on.
Oh my.
I know. Well, look, these people.
Poor Elmo's getting ripped off. He's getting played.
This, Michael, all Elon's trying to do is make a friend. That's it. Back to you.
Ronnie, hold on. He's not giving people millions of dollars just to make a friend.
Yes, he is. That's why he makes the winner come up on stage to get the check. Because that's the only way he can get anyone close enough to try to be friends with them. And then he's like, here's $1 million. And then people run away as fast as they can. Because he's a loser with no friends.
Okay, all right. Come on, Ronnie. How could he have no friends? He's a man with billions of dollars.
No. He's a loser with billions of dollars. Making $1 billion is not the same skill set as making friends, okay? Just look at how he jumps up and down when people clap for him. Yo, does this look like a man you want to be friends with? That looks like the kid at school with no friends. How there's like a giraffe at the zoo that was raised in isolation, so it doesn't know how to be a giraffe? That's him.
Okay, but there's easier way to make friends than to pay them $1 million.
Yeah, and he's tried them all. He bought Twitter to make friends, and what happened? We all left Twitter. He built self-driving cars so the cars would be his friend, and what happened? The cars blew themselves up. He tried to make friends by having 1,000 kids, and what happened? They were all like, can Nick Cannon adopt us instead?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
No, I'm not done. This man is a loser, Costa. His group chat is... His group chat is him and a burner phone he bought so he wouldn't be alone in the group chat, okay? The only reason he wants to go to Mars is so that he can be the first human to meet aliens, because once he knows that once the aliens meet other humans, they'll be like, oh, wait, this one sucks.
Ronnie, this man is 53 years old. He's got to have at least one friend.
No. You know how I know he has no friends? Because he made a Cybertruck, okay? A real friend would have told him, hey, bro, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. You should punch yourself in the dick, okay? Because friends don't let friends make cars that look like a Batmobile that had to repeat the first grade.
So what? Our democracy is going to collapse unless this guy gets a friend?
Exactly. We just need one sad, pathetic, pasty loser to be his friend, which is why I'm awarding you, Michael Costa, $1 million. All you need to do is be Elon Musk's friend. That's it. That's all you have to do. Congratulations, Michael. You won. So proud of you.
Wait, is that check made out to you from me?
Yeah. Don't overthink it, man. Just sign here, okay?
Well, these people, Elon Musk sucks. He's a terrible businessman, and so is Donald Trump. Everything they do is a failure. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk. I can't say that. Elon Musk comes from money, and then he invested in Tesla. Mm-hmm. It wasn't his idea, by the way. It had already been started, and he put his name on there. They wanted him to be the face of it, and so and Tesla sucks. Tesla suck.
Didn't they start on fire? And
there was a story about one guy who was caught on fire and he pulled off the road and the car locked him in so he couldn't get out. I mean, it's not funny. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, they've been known
that's really not funny.
It's not funny. They've been known to catch on fire, and their Cybertrucks were recalled. Those ugly ass Cybertrucks. Mm-hmm. Those were recalled.
Oh my God, those are horrible.
Donald Trump got one as a gift. Remember, he went on to that Bro podcast, and anyway, Aiden Ross. He went on Aiden Ross podcast.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But that's,
and it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. It's all of these less than mediocre white men who are not self-made that just yeah.
And we get the self-made ones like Mark Cuban. Okay.
Right.
Mark Cuban is actually self-made. Bloomberg was self-made.
Right. And even if you come from money, and you're not doing like evil, but and it's like, and you're not just like strictly riding on the coattails of
Kennedy Jr., Bobby Kennedy. That's a perfect example. Yeah. He's using his name and his money, that family name because he would just be another crackpot. So would Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And, it's got to be embarrassing for the Kennedy family, who are just been such great Democrats. And it's so embarrassing for them. And
so embarrassing.
Donald Trump was supposed to have a rally with John F. Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, and it was supposed to be in the evening, and he canceled that.
Not John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy.
I'm sorry, Robert Jr.
Please.
Yes,
okay,
thank you.
Let's have a moment. Well, hold on.
Not that John Kennedy.
You don't bring up John. Okay, and then we don't have like a moment of silence. Okay, silence.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, ready.
Yeah, for all that was lost. Truly.
Okay, so moment of silence.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
But RFK Jr. and he was supposed to be in this rally with Tulsi Gabbard. She's such a friggin' freak.
Oh,
she's
that bitch.
I know. And so he was supposed to do this rally and they had to cancel because, and the funny thing is he had just been talking about how lazy Kamala was because she's not doing anything. She has been doing rally after rally. Walt is doing rally after rally. She's got all her circuits out there. They are out there. The only reason why she didn't do anything, I think it was on Sunday, was because she was doing interviews. She's saved that time to be able to do the interviews with CNN and with NBC.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, she did that town hall at CNN.
Yep.
So he isn't doing any of that. He cannot handle. We saw he had one, mostly, that wasn't stocked with a bunch of sycophants. Was that Univision?
Yes.
And you saw what happened there. And even when they're friendly audience, he just cannot. His answers are rambling. They make no sense. He might stand there and just listen to music like Ave Maria.
Oh,
YMCA. What else?
Was so weird.
I know. Nothing compares to you. I mean, it was weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. 40 minutes of that?
Right.
There's something so wrong with him. And there's
Oh my
always been
God.
something wrong with him, but now
So-
it's even more pronounced.
So really, it isn't like a race between Kamala Harris and, Donald Trump. I mean, the media at this point, if they are continuing to make it a race between like, the policy differences or
A
whatever.
Democrat versus a
I mean,
Republican.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's just about the best that they can do, but I mean, it's nonsensical. It's almost like,
It makes no sense. It's so
No.
I can't. It blows my mind when I think about this man who couldn't. When he lost, he could not handle it. He was such a whiny little bitch about it.
Mhm.
Something we teach our kids from very early on. When my kids were in t-ball, they knew that after a game you had to say "good game" and shake everybody's hand. Right? You had to concede. He
Mhm.
can't do that, and he actually started this whole friggin', they stole it. The election was rigged. So that all these weirdos, they have no evidence. I've seen them being interviewed, and they'll, like by what's his name? That kid that I like to watch. But anyway, the good
Mockler?
liars.
Is it Mockler?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so they'll be asking him, and they'll say, well, where's the evidence? Because all these 63 courts said there was no
Mhm.
evidence of it. No, yeah, I just know it. I just know it in my gut. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right.
It is
Right.
ridiculous that we are still. And then when all of his other efforts didn't work, he
Right.
sent a violent mob and sat there and watched them beating the crap out of police officers
Right.
and
Right.
and scream, "Hang Mike Pence!" I mean, we saw it with our own eyes. This is the ultimate gaslighting. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
people die.
Exactly.
People died, and and yet he's running for president again. He could be president
Exactly. And the
again.
media is acting like, oh, this is just another, Republican versus Democrat. And the ridiculous questions. I mean, too, like we were going to talk about that town hall, but before we get into the town hall, this episode of True Blue Politics is brought to you by Night Sky Woodworks, featuring gorgeous products like cutting boards, cheese and charcuterie boards, and a beautiful tea light holders, all crafted in their Chicago, Illinois wood shop, all of which have eye-catching designs and make the perfect complementary piece for any kitchen or living room. If you use TruBlu, that's TruBlu, at checkout on their Etsy shop, you get 10% off any order, which is a pretty great deal if you ask me. So go check out their in-stock designs today or message your custom order request on their Etsy shop today by visiting etsy.com/shop/nightskywoodworks and use TruBlu at checkout for 10% off. That's etsy.com/shop/NITESKYE woodworks and use code TruBlu, TruBlu, at checkout for 10% off.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted. Again, look at their careers. These are not people, with the exception, I think, of only Mike Pence. These were not politicians. These are career people who have served in the highest roles in national security, who have served as generals in our military, who are highly respected. Talking about the person who would be commander-in-chief, not to mention what we know and what they've told us about how he talks about the military, servicemen and women, referring to them as suckers and losers of our country with Donald Trump
Yep.
at the lead.
And right now,
Milley
on.
calling
as we
Donald
speak,
Trump a fascist.
oh, you're not finished. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say what's happening in Arizona with that guy that was arrested for shooting up Democratic headquarters in Arizona.
Right.
And now they've set a ballot box on fire. So a bunch
Mhm.
of ballots have been damaged
Right.
in
Right.
Arizona.
These
That's what fascists do.
This is what exactly these are the people that follow fascists. They get in line and they follow and they stand back and
Mhm.
stand by. And if anybody thinks that what comes next, God forbid Donald Trump gets in, isn't anything other than fascism. We are
Yeah.
going to have Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, standing back, standing by, being the jackboot thugs that go ahead and round up people for mass deportations, go in and target, target, well, he's going to use the police force, federalize the police
To
force
get
to
the
be able to
radical
go in.
liberals.
Yeah.
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 And by the way, he thinks Hillary Clinton was a radical liberal. He thinks Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, any judge that that he doesn't agree with or that sides against him.
Yeah.
Anybody,
Yeah.
any election worker,
Right.
any
Right.
television program, any kind of like he tried, when I don't know, with Marshall Mathers, Eminem, he actually had him investigated because he says some things. He did a that fuck Trump thing video.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so, he had him investigated. He tried to have Jimmy Kimmel not investigated. He wanted him to be taken off the air, or at least, them to do something about him at Disney. He was trying to get people in the White House to call Disney, and they did. They called Disney to try to get Jimmy Kimmel to stop talking about him or be let go.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live, he wanted them investigated. Remember, this is fascism.
Right.
And, he talks about CBS because in 60 Minutes interview, they clipped 10 seconds of an interview with Kamala Harris for time's sake so they could fit it in. And he's saying, oh, election interference, and these people need to lose their license. First of all, they don't have a license. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But second of all, then it turns out, of course, we know this because they do it every time. Fox News heavily edited him in that Bronx barbershop thing. As a matter of fact, they took out whole parts to make him look sane.
Right.
And yet, seriously, everything he says is projection.
Right.
When he says, we say, he's going to destroy democracy. What does he do? Oh, they're destroying democracy.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's should be obvious to everybody. It should be something I feel like the media should be taking more seriously. I think that there are certain people that, especially, the quotes about, what he said about
Hitler.
About Hitler.
Who does that? Who does that?
Who does that? And it's, I feel like, okay, you getting it now? Like, we're only 12 days out, but it's like, now are you guys finally fucking getting this?
And for you people that are trying to say that you're voting for Donald Trump because, the economy was so much better under him. First of all, he was leading us into a recession with his stupid trade wars, even before COVID. And then he mishandled COVID so badly that 400,000 more people died that didn't have to die. So that was Obama's economy. Obama has said that, and it's true. He came in when the economy was just booming because it took 8 years for Obama to get it to that place after the last Republican president messed it up. And so, it's not only that, but then you look at what he wants to do. They're talking about, the inflation costs are so high, and that's why they need him. And he has no answers except tariffs. We're going to get so much money because the tariffs are going to be so rich. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know anything. And these economists have all told us that his economic plan and his plan to deport millions of undocumented people, and documented, because he will, when he was president, he actually deported more documented immigrants than undocumented immigrants.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to. I mean, people are gonna have to run around with their papers. God, if you're brown,
well, that's just it. And we've talked about it. The Jews that were killed first, they were people that thought that if they endeared themselves to Hitler and the Nazi Party, that they would be spared. And
well, they weren't killed first. They weren't killed first. They were actually, but they were killed. They were sent out.
Right.
They thought that they were protected because they had served in World War I. They won the Iron Cross, whatever. And they would come out in their uniforms and they think, I'm protected. And then some of them, they had that Jewish council that actually kind of tried to cooperate with the Nazis so that they thought that would save them. And no, they ended up all dying too.
Right. So I don't know what people, and I'm including white women in this
Yeah.
because we are some of the worst. But white women, and then the small percentage of black voters or black men specifically, and this small percentage of Latino voters who say that they're going to vote for him. I just it's like, listen, you're not safe. Just because you vote for him, or if you think that you're safe because you're documented, you're here legally. That is not going to protect you. They're not
Mm-mm.
going to look at you and say, "Oh, that guy looks legal. Oh, that guy." I mean, no, they're going.
No, they're
to
going to go,
know-
that guy looks illegal. And they're going to like, round them up. Get
Yeah,
those
they're
people,
gonna
they don't
round.
look
Yeah, they're
legal.
gonna round you up, throw you in detention, and ask questions later. And even then, it's like it's not gonna help you.
You're going to have
It's
to get a lawyer. I mean,
Yeah.
just it's
if
insane.
that's
First of
even
all,
if that's even even available. At
well,
that
it would
point.
cost so much. And
Right.
what I was saying about that was it will cost us, I think they said $1 trillion, and it will tank our economy more
Right.
so even than the tariffs, which are bad enough. Okay. And you play that clip of from Morning Joe about that.
So let's move to your second chart about what a Trump plan would actually do to the economy if implemented the way he's pitching it.
Yeah, so why are these economists so opposed to Trump's plan? Because the economic effects would be pretty terrible. This is a study done by Bloomberg Economics, and they found that Harris's plan did not have much change in either the GDP or inflation, which in a sense is a good thing at this point. But look at what Trump's plan would do. Trump's plan would cut the GDP by 8.9%. And let me put that in perspective for you. This is roughly twice the amount that the GDP went down during the financial crisis.
Wow.
So we would be looking at something between a recession and a depression. And interestingly, I'm sure people know because we've talked about this many times, the tariffs would cause certainly a part of this. But the biggest cause, actually, of this drop are the mass deportations that Trump is talking about, because he would take huge pieces of our labor force out of the country, send them back or send them somewhere else, and the result would be business wouldn't have labor. They wouldn't be able to produce things, and you'd have this enormous economic contraction. So this is something we've never seen before in terms of scoring a set of policy proposals from a presidential candidate. The other reason why Harris seems to be doing better, or maybe doing better for her economic thoughts relative to Trump, is maybe people are figuring out what's actually in these two plans. And one of the most important things in these two plans are the differences in their tax proposals. Harris's tax proposal would raise incomes for people at the bottom 20%, for people in the 20 to 40% percentile by fairly significant amounts. She would raise taxes for people at the higher incomes down here, in the 99 to 100 and the 95 to 99. Trump does the opposite. He raises after-tax incomes for people at the highest incomes up here. And believe it or not, if you're at the bottom, Trump's tax plan would actually increase your taxes slightly. So maybe people are figuring out these kinds of differences and changing their view of her economic plan versus Trump's economic plan.
Okay, I need the
Yeah, I thought that was
smelling
really
salts.
good.
I need the smelling salts. Wait,
Oh.
that was Steve Ratner.
Oh, I know. But it was good.
Wait,
That
no,
was,
I mean, but it's again, yes.
I know. It's hard to believe that
Yes.
anybody thinks that Republicans, especially with Trump, he's such a friggin' moron. He doesn't know anything. When he tells you what he's doing, he's running around going, I will fix it. I will give you all the jobs. We're going to be rich. He doesn't tell you how, because everything he's proposing is stupid
Right.
and will hurt our economy, tank our economy. So he's just telling people that he's going to fix it. It's like when he told those people in Ohio, don't move, don't sell your house. I'm going to save your jobs. I'm going to keep the factories here. And they didn't. They lost their jobs. Thousands of workers in Ohio lost their jobs. And that was repeated over and over again. Remember Foxconn? Remember how he promised Foxconn?
Yes. And taxpayers in Wisconsin were left holding the bag.
Yep.
Because he promised all kinds of money. Yeah, and
because he's an idiot.
Yeah, and now they're opening. Up. Oh gosh, what is it? Is it Microsoft? There is opening.
Yeah, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Biden
So,
did it.
right, Biden. Thanks, Biden. And this is the thing too, though. Like when I'm listening to this, yes, that. But guess what? Every single freaking Republican that's been in office, and I understand this is like an extraordinary, like Donald Trump is more dangerous than pretty much any Republican that has ever run. But at the same time, it's like it's a certain level. The Republican Party has always sold this bag of goods, and the media has always sold us the bag of goods that the Republican Party, Republicans are better on the economy, they're more fiscally responsible. And it's a flat out lie.
It's not true.
It's just a flat out lie.
The economy has always done better under Democrats.
Yes.
GDP is higher under Democrats. That's gross domestic product. That's what we produce. It's been higher. The stock market is higher. Unemployment is lower. Wages go up faster.
Right.
Every single time a Democrat is in office. And you know what? The last few Democrats have had to spend most of their time cleaning up the mess from the last Republican.
Exactly.
So that's why people they
yeah.
see it that way.
Right. And so, kind of shifting back a little bit to the town hall when they, the questions that are asked of Democrats and of Kamala Harris specifically, because now it's not that, so much that she's because there's really, what are you running against other than the obvious, right? That he's a fucking fascist, right?
Right.
But, and we need to save our democracy. But then, so what is the question that they ask? They ask her, how are you going to differentiate yourself from
Joe Biden?
From Joe Biden? And it drives me a little bit crazy because it's like, okay, I think, and we talked about this a little bit, I think that she should ask the question. So, how am I, going to differentiate myself from $35 insulin cost cap?
Record GDP.
Record GDP, right.
Yep. Record stock market. Unemployment.
Stock market, unemployment, the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, the,
best recovery from COVID.
Yeah. Best recovery. Fast recovery from COVID, rollout of the vaccines.
I'm telling you, the media is stupid. They are dumb when it comes to economics. They do not understand it.
And I feel like I do feel like she's put in this spot where she has to somehow validate that narrative. And it's like, no.
Biden was a very successful president. He will be remembered as one of the greatest presidents.
Chart about what
Stop talking. I don't know why this went off. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And so aggravates me too. I hear that all the time. Well, she's going to have to separate herself from Biden. Or Bidenomics. They have been extremely successful. And one of the reasons why Kamala has to win, here's another reason, is because for once we're going to have a Democrat succeeding a Democrat.
Yes.
So that we can actually see, people can actually give them credit, Democrats, and see that their economic plans are better. They're just better since FDR.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. What is it? Out of 51 million jobs, 50 million of them were created under a Democrat.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, and we always do it. I mean, Obama inherited a mess. Bill Clinton inherited a mess.
Right. Left George W. Bush with a massive surplus that he squandered. What was it, like a $400 rebate or something that he sent to people? That
I don't remember exactly.
But it was, I do remember it happening, but it was inconsequential. And then it completely, all but wiped out the surplus. And then he gets us into two wars.
Yeah, he gave us a big tax cut. Right. And then he that war, the never-ending war that Biden.
It wasn't even a tax cut, really. It was just like this rebate where he had the surplus that was left to him, and he just gave it away.
Yeah, because Republicans suck at economics. They suck at everything. That is why, things like Katrina happen, where you have these people like this guy that his job was horses, I think. I think he was into horse trading. Okay. And he made him Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't called Homeland Security then. Interior, what was it? Interior Secretary? What was it?
Secretary of the Interior?
No, he did. No. the guy that was taking in charge of like the hurricane relief,
Oh, Brownie?
Brownie, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what was
thought
his
he was
title.
a director. I thought he was a director of FEMA. No?
He might have been director of FEMA, yes,
Yeah.
but that was not what he was. Especially, he was he had any expertise at all,
Right, right.
and yet this is what we get from Republicans because they just it's crony capitalism for them, and they just hire their friends and their buddies who have no business being there. And Donald Trump did the same thing. Tiller. I mean, what was it? The Secretary of State's name? Tillerson.
Yeah.
Tillerson.
Yep.
What was he doing being Secretary of State? His job, he worked for Exxon. He was
yes.
the CEO of Exxon.
Right.
And then and none of these people were qualified.
No.
Rick Perry was in charge of nukes.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's astonishing.
It is shocking. That woman, Elaine Chao, was in charge of transportation, I guess because she owned a highway paving, asphalt
And she was Mitch McConnell.
company.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell's wife.
And Mitch McConnell's wife.
And what did she get for it? A bunch of racial slurs, a bunch of abhorrent, like when she jumped ship.
Oh yeah,
or if
she was.
Yeah.
What did he call her? I forget what he called her. He had a name for her.
Coco Chow.
Coco Chow. I mean, what is that?
Jesus Christ.
And then what did we get out of her? I mean, what did we get for no infrastructure? We didn't get anything. Remember how they would have infrastructure week? I know it's kind of a thing now. Infrastructure, or it was then. Infrastructure week was kind of a joke.
Right.
But the reason why it was a joke was because Donald Trump is a fucking moron and he's completely incompetent.
Yep.
And the people he surrounds himself are also incompetent or corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to be worse because
it will be worse because I mean, as we've said, and I guess as we get into the final few minutes of the podcast here, again, Schedule F, where this is under Project 2025, where they can fire 50,000 government civil servants and replace them with Trump loyalists, where they can take away the independence of our government agencies, including the DOJ, eliminate the Department of Education.
This is what fascists do also. They don't get experts because they don't have any need for an expert. They don't give a shit.
No.
They want believe me, there will be no FEMA under Project 2025.
No.
Everything will be privatized.
Yeah. They want to do away with the National
Weather Service.
Yes. Weather Service. So early warnings when another hurricane, Helene, rolls through, or Milton rolls through, or Katrina.
We'll just have to wait for the Sharpie to come out and tell us where it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, and I'm sure it's going to be nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I mean, it just, so this is deadly serious. It is deadly serious.
Yeah.
The final days, people, go to globalextremism.org, get yourself educated, sign up for their newsletter, share, and vote. Get everybody you know. Get out of your comfort zone. Write postcard. I mean, there's still a little bit of time to write postcards, although we're kind of getting down to the cutoff. But if
you send them some money, send them $20. Money. Yeah,
exactly. There's some races. Sherrod Brown in Ohio. We have
John Tester.
We have Colin Allred. We have Ruben Gallego in Arizona. This is the time. So, as Michelle Obama has said to all of us, do something. Do something. Yes.
I mean, our country depends on it.
It really does. It really does. And so you had sent me something, and we're just
to end with. Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Yes. So we are going to end with, this is Eminem introduced President Obama, and Obama rapped a few lines from his song.
President Barack Obama.
I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. And I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Vomit on my sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
All right.
That was
On
great.
that note, that was great. And Anita, what
I
I
know.
want, what my wish is for you is peace, tranquility.
That's not going to happen until after the election.
Going into the final days of the election,
Mm-mm.
but to do everything that we possibly can
Yep.
help make sure that we have as many Democrats elected to office so that we can actually save our democracy, get the important work of the people done.
Yeah.
And
The choice is clear. I don't understand why anybody's.
I
has
know
it, you know.
the choice is clear to everybody out there.
You're not
just
choosing a candidate. You're
No.
choosing a form of government,
yes,
whether
absolutely.
you want to remain a democracy or something else, a dictatorship.
Yes, and I mean, so the charge is to get uncomfortable, get out of your comfort zone, do all that you can to talk to your
Yep.
friends and neighbors.
Your
Anybody who
kids.
is
Yeah.
waffling on the fence as to whether they're even going to go and vote, make sure that we talk to them and we make sure that they understand that even if something does not directly affect you, it affects somebody that you care about.
And
we
it will
all have
affect you when the
and it
economy
will,
tanks.
and it sure, yes, and it sure will. I mean, we know that, but for people that are under this false impression that it won't affect you, guess
Yep.
again. So
Yep.
anyway, everybody sending everybody good thoughts and
Yes.
a positive outcome for election night, and we will see you after
After the election with
the
our special
election.
guest.
Love you all. Thank you so much for supporting us as always. And we
Yep.
wouldn't be able to do this without all of you who tune in and support us. So thank you.
Thank you.
On a